Check, 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 check. Check, check, check. Type 1 if you can hear me out there. Sounds like you can. Yeah, you guys can hear me. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to yet another Red Seat live stream. Same time every week, folks. Although next week we are going to be doing it a little bit earlier. Who's in the chat tonight? Who do I got to say hi to? The first chat of the night came from Mr. Money Mike Madness. Hey, Mike, I just saw your message about your results. That is fantastic. I'm extremely happy for you. I just in time for the holiday season. That's incredible. Christian, how are you? Kevin, how you doing? Sandy, what's up? Do I exist? Kind of a fire YouTube name. What's going on? Reborn, how are you? Dallas, how you doing? Mr. Data, Jennifer, Neil, Peter, my friend, what's up? Chris, C-E-R, I'm just going to call you C. Say check again, I didn't hear you. Check. Sith Lord, what's up? White Beard Signs, the GOAT. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to turn my camera on for this one. Oh, wow, we are turned way to the left, but that actually worked. This sign right here, none other than White Beard Designs. If you're looking for any sort of woodworking design, I mean, this thing has been going strong for what? It's been 2 years now, Whitebeard. I would head over to Instagram right now. Make sure you follow this guy. It's Whitebeard Designs on Instagram. It's Whitebeard Designs in general, but it's Whitebeard Designs on Instagram. Goated. Anyways, Chad, how we doing? What's the pulse look like? What does the pulse look like right now? What is the pulse right now? We feeling good? We feeling great? We feeling fantastic? You're like Logie from the MCU tonight. You know what's funny, Data? I'm getting a haircut soon. Like it's pretty long right now, dude. It's pretty long. I actually said that to my fiance today. I was like, I'm gonna grow it out to look, because we're watching. She's finally watching Loki season 2, and I was like, what if I grew my hair out just like that? And she was like, please, for the love of God, do not. It's pretty close. I mean, it's fairly close. What's up, Spencer? How you doing, my friend? Sox seem to make a move. They sure do, my guy. They sure do. Doom and gloom. Yeah, I feel like that's a good way to put it. I feel like doom and gloom. Today was a pretty today was a pretty tough. Like, this was our first legitimately negative video this offseason, right? We made some things where it's like, you talk about some reports that may have been going on, and you sit there and you're like, yeah, this could turn into a negative. Today was the first video I've made this offseason where it was truly like, I just didn't have any hope, right? And I'm not sitting here saying that I have no hope for where the Red Sox are going. We're going to talk about a few things in today's live stream. Heads up, by the way, for members, we're doing our holiday / Christmas / December members only live stream tomorrow. So keep an eye out for that notification. Yeah, like, there's a lot here. There's a lot to unpack here. But I don't know if does anyone here? I have a rant I need to go on, because there's no other place for me to rant about this besides right here, because you guys are stuck listening to my individual, just me spieling. That's what you're here to do. You know what I mean? Does anyone here like chase down athletes on the street and like before I go into this rant, I don't want to offend anybody. We got a $5, before we do my rant though, $5 super chat from Bay Sox Bombs. Thank you so much for the super chat. He says, I should say, Red Sox trade Duran to the Mets for Jet Williams and Brandon Sproat. Yeah, I'd be looking at the Mets a little bit. I don't know that honestly, I don't know that the Red Sox are too aligned with the Mets in terms of a Duran trade, but it is somebody that, the Mets are somebody that I think you should be paying attention. Like the Mets are definitely talking to the Red Sox about Jarren Duran. I'd at least for sure have a conversation about it, but we'll see. We'll kind of see what ends up. I don't know if that's, I mean, it feels sort of in the realm-ish of what the Red Sox would want for Duran. I don't know that that would get it done. I would imagine Mark Vientos, especially if they don't sign Bregman, would be in that conversation. Yes, Spencer. That was, but again, Bay Sox, thank you for the $5 super chat. Spencer, that was what I was going to rant about. I saw a TikTok today. Was it a TikTok or was it on Twitter? I think it was a TikTok of this guy going up to Mason Wynn, who's not a Yankees prospect, who doesn't play for the Yankees. He was just shopping with his family in New York City with a full book of Mason Wynn cards, asking him to sign, and like got offended when Mason Wynn was like, "No, dude, I'm not going to sign your cards." It blew my mind. Like. This guy had to have essentially stalked Mason Wynn to find him just like out in the open doing regular people things. Like that's crazy to me. Absolutely crazy. In a horrible mood, is this the right place? Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Did I see Milliken's tweet? Yeah, so that's what we're going to talk about, I think. Put the camera down a bit. Now you said that. I'm turning it up. Mr. Money Mike Madness, been a member here for officially 34 months. My man, Mr. Money Mike. Trade Duran to Arizona. That'll stop them from going after Bregman. Maybe ask for Ketel Marte. Yeah. It feels like Duran's destined. Feels like Duran's destined to end up in Arizona. We'll see. Kind of see what happens. Bichette is projected by ESPN to go to the Yankees. Why? Why would the Yankees do that? Like, why? You know what I mean? Outside of literally just simply having the guy, where would you play him? Third base? Maybe. I guess, maybe, I don't know if his defense is better than Anthony Volpe's, to be honest with you. Okay. All right, so let's talk a bit about where we are with the Bregman stuff. Because again, we go into the conversation we had this morning about how it's starting to feel like, you know, the Red Sox are kind of on the outside looking in on Alex Bregman's sweepstakes, right? And I spoke about this in terms of what this might look like in, you know, as a ploy by Scott Boras, as a ploy by the the agencies that are representing Alex Bregman, is sort of this, let's drum up some controversy, right? And that's what Scott Boras is best at. And this today, you know, we're starting to have conversations a little bit about, and you know, Milliken tweeted out first. Credit to whoever. This was originally by Scott Feinstein. Mark Feinstein? Mark Feinstein. I don't know why I said Scott. I think it's because Scott Boras is on the brain. $10 super chat from Ryan. Thank you so much, Ryan. He says, Merry Christmas, Chief. Hey, yeah, Merry Christmas to you as well. Happy holidays. Thanks for another year of great, consistent Sox coverage. I'm all in on Murakami at this point, by the way. We're going to talk about him tonight as well, for sure. But let's start with this Bregman stuff. I think the moral of the story here is with this Bregman stuff is that two things can be true. One, I think you can absolutely still be in an area where you're not comfortable about the idea of Alex Bregman returning, and you can also say that you have absolutely no idea where Alex Bregman's going to end up. Right, I think ultimately both of those things can be true. And right now, I think both of those things are true. I think you're looking at it from everything we're hearing from Carabas, everything we're kind of hearing, even in terms of, let me see if I can pull up the direct. I don't want to misquote Chris Cotillo here. Yeah, it was in his podcast. I don't want to get DMAC'd. I think he replied to somebody. Let me see here. Yeah, so it was stats. Okay. So this is what Sean McAdam had to say about the whole Bregman stuff. Reading the tea leaves and talking to people around the game, you can't feel optimistic about Alex Bregman coming back to the Red Sox. There's a lot of smoke around Alex Bregman and the D-backs, and other teams willing to go longer on deals than the Red Sox seem to be. to me, you sit here with this and you're like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, okay, like you kind of get the Pete Alonso thing. You kind of get the Kyle Schwarber thing, even though both those guys I would have absolutely done 5 years on. But if 5 years is where you're sitting with Alex Bregman and what he did for you this season, and like you look at Pete Alonso and you look at Kyle Schwarber and you say there's risk there, right? You kind of know Kyle Schwarber, but that was a different regime, right? You don't really know Pete Alonso. He hasn't been in your organization all that much, right? All that much. He's never been in this organization, right? But with Bregman, he's been here. You've seen the impact firsthand, right? You're not going by just analytics with Bregman. You're going by everything else. And if you're not willing to go, and this is a conversation we had when we were talking about the Red Sox not wanting to go into extra years for free agents, right? Andrew Friedman had that great quote, what was it, 2 or 3 years ago, where it was like, if you're not willing to get risky on someone, you're always going to finish in third place. It was like, I'm paraphrasing, right? But now you come to this conversation where it's like you sit there and the Red Sox played out his market last year and it worked out really well for them. They ended up in a really good position. He helped the team. You didn't add long-term payroll, whatever it was that you were anxious about doing, you were able to avoid that. This year, it's getting clearer by the day that it's not going to end up working, right? This whole, I'm going to sit here, I'm going to throw you out to the wolves. You're going to explore, you're going to become a man. Then you're going to come back to us. And you're going to say, you were right all along. We're staying with you. And it worked last year. It's not going to work this year, right? Even if the D-backs and apparently other teams too are sitting here and they're on the peripheral looking in and they're saying, look, dude, like, hey, just so you know, I know you're talking to the Red Sox right now, but just to let you know, you could come over here and we could have a conversation. And I don't know, maybe something will pop up, right? And then all you have to do is get one of those teams, right? And right now it's feeling like the Diamondbacks. Now, again, this is all sort of, we have no idea what's going on because Mark Feinstein is sitting here saying the Diamondbacks are believed to be a long shot on Alex Bregman. We had a Arizona reporter. He does a talk show in Arizona, Phoenix. Seems like a pretty popular guy in Phoenix. I don't know too much about him, but he also said he put the Diamondbacks odds of landing Alex Bregman as a long shot, right? So it feels like, the Diamondbacks are saying we don't really, we're not really super in on him. And the Bregman camp is saying, no, they're super in on him. Come here, right? You know what I mean? So I don't really know what's going on here, but this is the kind of conversation you have when you're a team that's unwilling to just simply take a risk, right? And we've had this conversation before. There are examples of, and there are plenty of examples of overextending yourself and ending up in a bad contract. A ton. Right? You could look through all throughout Major League Baseball. Xander Bogaerts was probably the most relevant example to us as Red Sox fans here, right? I think there would have been a whole lot of bitching and complaining had the Red Sox signed Xander, and he's been doing what he was doing in San Diego for the last couple of years. But there's also gets to a certain point where you can't be a risk-free ball club. It's physically impossible. It is impossible for you to not be able to go out and take a risk, right? And I'm not talking about signing, that's why they didn't sign Pete Alonso. That's why they didn't sign Kyle Schwarber. You got to sign one of these guys. You know what I mean? You got to sign one of these guys. And to sit here and talk about all these different things where it's like, it feels like the Red Sox just refuse to take a single risk, and that's the difference between the fact that every other team in Major League Baseball has spent money this offseason outside of you, right? You even signed it's you and the Colorado Rockies. That's not, whenever you're with the Colorado Rockies, you are not in a good spot, right? I don't know. I sit here with this, and it's frustrating. It's unbelievably frustrating. Because like I sit here with it and it's like there's just such an easy pathway for you to put yourself into a legitimate, like maybe you don't win the division, but maybe you're in a better position to beat out the Yankees or the Blue Jays, the Orioles or whoever in a wild card game this time around, right? And that doesn't cost you $400-500 million. You trade for Sonny Gray, okay, well, you're still talking to the Royals about Jarren Duran. Jarren Duran's starting to get a whole lot of heat, apparently, according to Rob Bradford, right? So now you can bring in and create this sort of super rotation with what? $30 million, right? Added on to your entire pitching staff payroll? I mean, Sonny Gray was 20. Oviedo's getting paid like 2. And you know, you had a Reagans or a Lodolo or an Abbott or whoever, and that's going to be under $10 million too. So now you're looking at a $30 million rotation. You add in, let's say you add in Bregman and you add in Okamoto, you're putting yourself in a position to be not even a much better, just a better team than you were last year. The goal is to be continuing to take step forwards, and we're sitting here in December and we're saying, where's the steps, Craig? Right? You kind of made a sidestep here with Sonny Gray. And I like Sonny Gray. I think it might even be a little step forward, but this isn't how you go from 89 wins to 93 wins. Right? You don't have to go from 89 to 100 wins over a singular offseason. I understand that. It's difficult to do, but how about somewhere in the middle? Can we get an extra 4 wins than we had last year? Because you get 4 wins, now you're in second place and you're the ones hosting the Yankees for the wild card game. Right? Or hell, maybe even, heaven forbid, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. goes down halfway through the year and you win a division. Like, it's just unbelievably frustrating. Alex Bregman's going to contender. It drives me so crazy that fans cannot differentiate the difference between the Red Sox being a contender and being cheap. Because both things can be true at the exact same time, right? To make the argument that the Red Sox aren't going to be a contending team this year is a bit ridiculous in my opinion, right? You still have Roman Anthony, one of if not the number 2 highest ranked rookie, young kid, whatever you want to say in the game of baseball right now. You've got the 3rd best pitcher in the AL, potentially the 1st best or 2nd best pitcher in the AL, potentially the 1st best pitcher in the AL, depending on where Tariq Skubal ends up by the end of the offseason, right? If he's on the Detroit Tigers, maybe goes to the Dodgers, whatever it may end up being. And so you've got 2 of the best pieces in the entire sport here. Not to mention, you got a ton of really great supplemental pieces to those guys. I mean, say Don is only going to continue to get better. Willier, if he puts together a fully healthy season, is going to be a legitimate impact player. Duran's had been a solid 4+ WAR player for his last 2 seasons. Trevor Story proved to you last year he's a solid everyday player for you. You've got Bayo in there. You've got Gray in there. You've got Early, Tolley, right? You've got all this talent in your system. The difference is right now is you're not a division contender, right? You're not a World Series baseball team, right? You're just like you're close, and I think that's absolutely an objectively true statement to say. But you're not there yet, and you could be there with 2 simple moves, 3 simple moves, right? And it's a lot easier said by me sitting at a desk in my apartment than it is for Craig Breslow to actually get it done. But even on like it's very clear that Alex Bregman wants one specific thing. He wants to sign a contract so we can retire with the team. How are we not willing to do that? And if we aren't willing to do that, right, why are we not immediately signing Bo Bichette? And I have no faith, to be honest with you, that the Red Sox are going to be able to sign Bo Bichette. Because even if the Blue Jays are sitting there like, look, we'll match any offer you put out there, you think the Red Sox are willing to blow Bo Bichette away? What evidence do we have that they are willing to do that, right? Every evidence we've had since Craig Breslow, really since Chaim Bloom has been in office, outside of Masataka Yoshida, has been that they always have a limit, right? And they're never, ever, no matter who the player is, not going to go over that limit. Building a nice 4th place team. This is the other thing that drives me crazy. Like, yeah, it's been a rocky offseason so far, but to act like the Orioles are all of a sudden this juggernaut, superstar loaded team is a bit ridiculous. You know what I mean? I would say right now, definitive 3rd place team, right? Maybe not definitive, teetering 3rd place team. It's potentially could be a 4th place team, but like, to sit here and be like, oh, the Orioles are definitively better than the Red Sox right now because they signed Pete Alonso, yeah, I don't think so. What if the Orioles get Valdez? Well, then we'll have a different conversation. Then we'll have a different conversation. You know what I mean? I believe over the course of full season, we do very well, but in a playoff series, we may fall short talent-wise. Yeah, we saw that this year, right? And that's again, this is what contending teams do, right? Craig's focus right now shouldn't be on, hey, obviously it should be on 162, but really it should be on after 162, right? Because you had a team put together well enough to put together, a winning ball club through 162, but you couldn't get through 165, right? Those last 3 games, you just couldn't do it. Your pitching fell apart. Your defense fell apart. Your hitting disappeared, right? You got to figure out how to get that over into a playoff series. What does a package for Wilson Contreras look like? To me, it's not a lot. His first baseman, not very valuable to begin with. 33-year-old first baseman on a 2-year deal with $18 million a season. Also bumps your value down here. If the Cardinals aren't willing to eat any money, essentially not much. Right, you could absolutely get away with trading for Wilson Contreras without having to give up too much. I love Wilson Contreras. I would be psyched to get Wilson Contreras if it's not your only move this offseason. $5 super chat from Base Sox, another one. Thank you so much. He says, sick and tired of the front office sitting around and not doing anything for years. It's time to do something. I wouldn't say for years. I get it. Last offseason, though, you did also get Crochet, Bregman, Chapman, Narvaez, right? It was a really good offseason, all said and done. But I think what you're more so meaning is you want to see the Red Sox sign a big deal. Like show, even with Crochet, it was a big trade, but you extended that guy. Bregman was you manipulated the market enough where you were able to land him on a shorter term deal. Let's see you go balls to the wall. Let's see that, Bradford, I don't know, said it today on the Play Tessie podcast. If you haven't listened to it, listen to it. He kind of said that, right? He's like, well, the Red Sox, I'm sure, have a plan. He believes that Alex Bregman is plan A for the Red Sox, right? And he's sure that the Red Sox have a B, C, D, and E. But it's like you sit here and you're like, well, why do you need to get to plan B, C, D, and E? Right? If Bregman's your plan A, what happened to the team that, it was plan A or it was nothing? You know what I mean? So I get what you're saying, but yeah, let's not totally dismiss what they did last year either. Costas will get MVP votes. That would be crazy. I think that we are still a playoff team if the season started now. You know what? To be honest with you, Jog, the problem with sitting here saying, "Oh, this is a playoff team as the season started tomorrow," is you are going to need full season of Roman Anthony. He can't get hurt, right? The second he gets hurt, this team's done for. Marcelo Meyer is going to need to become not just a regular player, but an impact regular player. Trevor Story's going to need to repeat last year. You're going to need to see Duran. You keep going with this, specifically offensively. I think pitching wise, even if Early doesn't work out, you've got Tolley. If Tolley doesn't work out, you got Dobbins. If Dobbins doesn't work out, you got Crawford, right? I'm not too worried about the pitching side of things. What I am worried about is this offense, right? It's right now, as it's constructed today, it's relying on either dudes coming back from injury or dudes who need to take their next step in their evolution. And the goal with a playoff team should be to allow those guys to propel you, but not carry you. Does that make sense? I don't know if that made sense, but I hope you understand what I'm saying, where a playoff roster isn't built on relying on these young kids to become these superstars. These rosters are built surrounding these young kids with established stars so that they're able to then be that extra oomph that you're looking for. Do you think Michael King will pick the Red Sox over the Yankees because of his Boston College ties? No, because I don't think the Red Sox are going to offer enough money. I think that's going to be tomorrow's video, by the way. Will the Red Sox make a big move before the first of the year? Well, it sounds like Bregman from everything we've kind of pooled together here in terms of reports. The decision wants to be done before the beginning of the year, so we'll get some sort of answer there. Munetaka Murakami is due to sign before Christmas, actually in the next few days. There are a couple more. Yokomoto. The text, let's go versatility. 33 months, Chad. What up, baseball? How you doing? Why can't we move Cedon to second? Because Cedon Rafaela was the best defensive outfielder in the entire sport. The entire sport. Why would we move the best defensive outfielder in the entire sport over to second base? Just so what? We could put Duran in center field. I'm good. Thank you, though. Ryan, another $5 super chat. Man, you guys have been carrying the night. Good some claps to the chat. All these prospect swaps confuse me. Ooh. Why not package up Paredes, Clark, Garcia, and Fitz and insert top prospect name here and try and get a actual number 2? So, yeah, it sounds like, hey, stupid, why don't you just do this, right? And I think a lot of people would agree with you, Ryan. Here's the problem is the Red Sox might sit there and say, yeah, that's fine. Let's do that. The other teams have to agree to it, right? Like, you look at, like, specifically Garcia and Fitz clearly weren't incredibly valuable on the open markets. I think Clark and Paredes, maybe you put those two together and add a top prospect, maybe. But again, another team has to want it. So sick of watching rumor videos, no offense. Yeah, I mean, I don't look, people say that to me every rumor video I make. Like, I don't take offense to it. You know, it's my job to talk about everything going on with the Boston Red Sox. I can't control whether or not the Red Sox actually do something, right? If I could, we'd be sitting here talking about moves once a week, right? Right? So, it's not really offensive to me, you know? I'm still going to make rumor videos because it's either that or I just take a 3-month-long vacation and I just flat out can't afford to do that. So, here is what we got. You know what I mean? Agent Dr. Clutch, thank you so much for becoming a member of the Bleachers chat. Remember, members only stream for December is tomorrow night, same time. Murakami or Okamoto, I keep going back and forth. Who's the best fit? You want my opinion, Chris? There's 2 ways of looking at this. Murakami is a guy that has been, and versatility, I don't know if you're still here, but versatility has been a big proponent of Murakami for a little bit now. I think with Murakami, it's a bigger risk, but a higher reward, right? If you were to sign Murakami, there is a chance that he's a Yordan type player. And that's not even an exaggeration, right? He could end up being a 40 home run guy. He could end up being a 100 plus RBI guy. He could be a decent defender. Like, you could sit there and the projections on some of his stuff is incredible. But the downside is there's also you need me to make a poll, 1 subs, 2 cash. Please don't send me a ton of money, dude. I always feel bad when people send me a ton of money. Another $5 super chat from Bay Sox Bombs. Man, thank you so much for the generosity tonight, my friends. It says, why do I have a feeling that the Dodgers are going to make a big move for Tucker, Skubal, or possibly Corey Seager? Yeah, well, this is what happens when you have a competent team that's willing to put their balls to the table, right? You always feel like they could absolutely go out there and get somebody. You know what I mean? Like, that's just an homage to what they've been doing over the past few years. Because I agree, right? You sit there and you say, man, the Dodgers haven't been doing much. Where are they? You know? Back to the Murakami Okamoto conversation. So my point was Murakami, higher risk, higher reward. Okamoto, lower risk, lower reward, right? Okamoto is going to be a solid player. If you imagine, let's say he's essentially what he's going to be is he's going to be Masataka Yoshida, but a guy who can hit 25 home runs. Right? So that's kind of what you're looking at with Okamoto. But he does have, instead of Yoshida kind of having to be a DH only, Okamoto can play plus defense at third base and first base. Do we hit the panic button if Bregman signs elsewhere? Personally, yeah, I hit the panic button. And I explained it in my video. Yeah, versatility. That is the perfect way of putting it. Yeah, gave the long-winded answer. The perfect way of putting it is Okamoto higher floor, Murakami higher ceiling. Perfect way of putting it. In terms of the panic button, I explained it today. If Bregman signs elsewhere, before and it's not with the Red Sox, right? Before the Red Sox make a move, I'm hitting the panic button, because if he signs elsewhere right now, it sounds like the only other team that's been truly connected with him lately is the Cubs a little bit, right? But that hasn't been crazy serious interest. And the Diamondbacks, who again, you're sitting here and you're saying, the Diamondbacks are a long shot for Bregman. Well, that kind of was said right before they signed Burns too, but we'll see what ends up happening there. If he goes to the Diamondbacks, not only do the Diamondbacks have you by the balls for a Marte trade, but even if you wanted to pivot and say, let's go overpay for Bichette, you're going to have to overpay the overpay, right? Because Bichette's agent isn't stupid either. He's sitting there saying that the Red Sox, they can't trade for Marte, they can't sign Bregman. Why the hell should we sit here and take a fair deal from the Red Sox when we can lobby them into either a bigger deal with the Blue Jays, because I want to go back there, and the Blue Jays are going to spend some money, or even if I don't go back to the Blue Jays, I'm going to make $40-50 million more than I would have if I was going to sit here and sign before Bregman signs, right? So, yeah, I hit the panic button if the Red Sox lose out on Bregman. I smash that panic button if he ends up going to the Arizona Diamondbacks. You're welcome, Mike. Yeah, I'm thirsty tonight, brother. I think it's because I had Chipotle for dinner. I appreciate these streams, as it's one of the only ways I keep my sanity with all the lack of Red Sox. Hey, I'm glad to be here. Look, I tweeted it out today. Do I know what's going on with the Boston Red Sox? I have no idea. Are we going to talk about it? Hell yeah, we're going to talk about it. We're going to go over everything. You know what I mean? We're going to argue. We're going to cry. Well, this is a therapy stream, Chad. This is what this is. If the Red Sox can get him on their terms and within their payroll, they will get him, or anyone. Unfortunately, getting the best players available is not their priority anymore. It's contracts and payroll. I don't disagree. It's impossible for me to sit here and say, until they prove you wrong at this point. Like normally you sit here, like after an offseason the Red Sox had last year, you're supposed to give them a little bit of leeway, right? There's supposed to be a little bit of, hey man, you had a good offseason last year. We got some faith in you. But then the Devers thing happened. Right, and then you get the trade deadline, and then you come into this offseason. I mean, they were like, right, coming into this offseason, they were like, steps forward. You know what I mean? And then they just haven't done anything. And not only have they not done anything, they've allowed other teams to do things that seem like that would be perfect for the Red Sox to do. So it's more so it's more so immediately guilty until proven innocent. It's almost like people aren't watching your videos before coming in here. It's fair. Look, I put out a video a day. I don't expect everyone to watch. I love you if you watch 6 of my videos a week. You are the best person that I've ever met if you're doing that. But I don't expect you to. If it isn't Bregman, plus it's going to be a rough offseason, even if they land some good players. I don't disagree with your versatility. I think I understand what you're saying. Let me ask you guys this. If the Red Sox go and they bring Bregman back, and then they trade Duran for Cole Reagans. They trade Duran and let's say they trade Duran and I would say Paredes, but he's gone. Let's say they trade Duran and Juan Valera for Cole Reagans. And you're sitting there, and all of a sudden you've got this super, super rotation. Probably, I mean, you could put it toe-to-toe with any rotation in baseball, right? Is that enough for you to sit there and say this team could win a playoff series? Not just get to the playoffs, win a playoff series. To me, the answer is yes, but it's a contingent answer on all of these young guys need to start to step up, right? People go to the ballpark with the guilty until proven innocent mindset at the front office. They need to do their jobs, build a competitive team while balancing a budget. Simple as that. Yeah. Funny that we need Bregman, but that just gets us back to where we were. Kind of where we're at, though, isn't it? What up, Amy and Bobby? I forget which one it is. I think it's Bobby. I'm sorry. Bresso's going to make me need counseling. So what brings you in today? Even with Reagans, I don't think we're the 5th best rotation. I don't know. Oh, you're pretty down versatility. In all fairness, you're pretty down on Sonny Gray. I'm pretty up on Sonny Gray, so I could see where you're saying that. I can. Okay, let me ask you this: who are the 4? Okay, so I assume the Dodgers are above them. I assume the Mariners are above them in your hypothetical here. What is it? The Reds are you putting above them? Like who are the other 3 teams here? Dodgers, Mariners for sure. What's the latest update on Ketel Marte? The exact same as it was this morning, where it's like, it feels still peripheral. It doesn't feel like anything's really getting done. Do we want Murakami? If the Red Sox sign Murakami, I think I'm happy. I don't know if it's the game-changing answer here, right? But I'm happy with it. I think it's solid. Dodgers, Seattle, Toronto, really? With what? I mean, Toronto's is kind of old, isn't it? Yeah, they do have a good rotation on paper. I don't know. Seattle, I think you make the argument for. The Yankees, I think you make the argument for sure. I don't know if I make. I don't know. I think it's a lot closer if you get Reagans, specifically if you get Reagans between the Red Sox and the Toronto Blue Jays than it is on paper than it is. I'm still optimistic on Casas at first. I want to be. I love Casas. The talent is absolutely still there. At this point, even me, who is a big Casas defender, I just need to see it, right? I just need to see it. Hot take, I don't hate the idea of moving Toley for Marte. 10 more poll votes. Everyone vote on that poll here. Bring back Walker Buehler. God, if we could just have Casas as DH. He has that kind of mindset. He really would be a perfect DH. We were banging that drum, Spencer, at the beginning of the year, dude. I would be psyched. We won't get Reagans. It feels like a little bit of a long shot right now, but the Royals want Duran bad. They're still talking to Duran even after signing these guys. We know that. They're sitting there saying Duran's not worth Reagans. The Red Sox are sitting there saying Duran is worth Reagans. About who blinks first, right? When we signed the wrong Walker, we needed Walker Texas Ranger. Huh? I don't know who Walker Texas Ranger is. I think it's a win if we could sign any more 15U players for a few $1,000,000. People were like upset by that. I didn't really realize why people were so upset by that one. They said Campbell's a left fielder now. Yeah, Campbell's not a first baseman. Actually, Campbell's playing the outfield tonight. I think for the first time this Winter League. Take a lap. Okay, so you're rage baiting. I get it. See, look at chat. This is grown. This is growth. We only have Chapman as a lefty. What are we going to do about that? Right now, according to our friend Andrew Parker, they're viewing Kyle Harrison as a lefty for the bullpen, more so than a rotational piece. They just picked up that what's this guy's name? Jake Bennett. I would imagine he's a piece there. Do I think Fenway Sports Group getting rid of Penguins will open up possible signing money? So I put John Henry in this to talk about that a little bit because I knew that was going to be a conversation. I don't think so, right? I really don't. It doesn't appear as though, at least on the surface, that versatility with 20 gifted members the day before our members only stream check. We get some I want every single person in here. If you got a gifted membership, make sure you say thank you. And I want everyone in here to give some claps of versatility. Just unbelievable generosity coming in from the man here. Unbelievable generosity. A lot of people who've been here for a while, a lot of new people getting some gifted membership. Merry Christmas. Thank you so much, versatility. I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot, man. Thank you. Thank you so much. Truly, truly generous. Make sure we're clapping in the chat, man. I like genuinely unbelievable. Thank you so much, man. I this is what I didn't want. I didn't want you to I didn't want you spending a ton of money on me. Dude, listen, times are tough. Money's not going, as far as it has in the past. And I want to make sure you guys are still okay. But, yeah, man, it means a lot to me that you're willing to do that versatility. Even though we've been arguing a little bit lately, I appreciate it a lot, man. Thank you. I look and feel like the Red Sox are signing Murakami. Don't know why, but we all know Breslow's a ninja. And we haven't heard anything about the Sox getting him outside of one report. Yeah, I would say you're not totally wrong, right? He's been working in total silence. Versatility, yeah, that is true. Versatility has spent more money in this stream tonight than the Red Sox have spent in the entirety of the offseason. Trade Willie or keep the Rand. It all depends on what teams want, man. It sounds like the Rand's a much more coveted piece. King or Reagan's? Does King have a qualifying offer attached? I don't think so, right? $100 super chat from Verse after gifting 20. After giving 20 subs, this dude says, "Sorry, I won't do more gifted. Merry Christmas. Get Mrs. Red Seat something nice." My man. I mean, versatility. That is unbelievable, dude. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That is truly unbelievable. Unbelievable generosity, man. That is way too kind of you. I don't deserve that. Thank you. Let Jess know the good news. Jess is at a book club right now. I will when she gets home, though, for sure. I'll definitely listen. So I'll tell you what, because you brought up my fiance's Christmas, the only thing she wanted for Christmas this year was a car detail. And I bought it for her, like a full car detail, whole thing, right? I was ready to give it to her for Christmas. And then she goes and spills her coffee in her car. Like a week ago. So I had to pump up the appointment. So her Christmas gift is already given to her. But I'll get her something special. And I'll say it's from the Red Sea community. You guys have to tell me what to get her, though. We don't have to agree to be friends and be kind to one another. Wow. What a motto. Not only is this guy unbelievably generous, he's a prophet too, folks. That is truly the motto this holiday season, man. It really is. Maybe the Red Sox do a mega deal tonight. Brother, I've been begging for the Red Sox to do a mega deal. If John Henry now versatility has totally outspent John Henry this offseason. Can we think about that? Totally outspent John Henry this offseason. We just want real players. All I want for Christmas is you. Yes, he has. Yeah, he truly has. I don't even remember, where were we before versatility came in here and blew us all away? What were we talking about? This happens every single time someone makes a big donation. I lose all frame of reference because I'm just so honored that someone would be willing to give that much money to me. Like because I don't feel like I deserve it. I just sit here and BS for like 2 hours. You know what I mean? Get her a framed picture of your chat saying they love her. All right, wait. Everyone say I love you, Jess. And I'm going to take a screenshot because that'd be funny. What do you think of Dustin May signing with the Cardinals? I think it goes to show you how much of a premium right now pitching is. me. That is gonna be. I'm dead ass getting this framed. I'll tweet out a picture. I'm dead ass getting that framed, chat. I'm gonna give that to her for Christmas. I like Abreu, but I don't think he's an automatic 30. No, he's not. You're right, Christopher. He's not. But he could be a 20, 25 home run guy, and I think it's absolutely worth it. Arizona's throwing off our mojo. Dude, Arizona, there is a very real chance that Arizona, flat out, this is Craig Breslow, right? This is Arizona, bang, and then they're going to turn him around and just shove him into a locker, dude. That's what it feels like. But you can't tell me what to do. South playing this year? No. You see Christian Campbell and Conley earlier putting on muscle for... Yeah, I did. We actually made videos about both of those things. Yeah, if Conley early adds some consistent velocity, he's going to be dangerous. Houck to Arizona? No shot, dude. I figured out it looks like I'm absolutely yucking back water over here. It's because, one, I got ice in here, but two, how do you drink out of that right there? Like, there's no room. I'm taking it off. We're going capless. See, now I can chug water. I've said, what's up, Robbie? I've said for a while that Marte is our Bregman backup plan. I don't think you're totally wrong at all. The problem is if he signs with the Diamondbacks, he can't be your backup plan because, well, now all the cards are sitting with the Diamondbacks, right? Again, the Diamondbacks may be sitting there debating whether or not to take this deal without Meyer in it. If Bregman signs with the Diamondbacks turn around, they say, hey, brother, you're going to include Meyer and you're going to like it. You know what I mean? Yeah, dude, Houck is in a bad spot. I was kind of surprised they tendered him a deal, to be honest with you. Guys, don't be mean to Red Sox ownership. They're having a really tough time trying to figure out where to put their new mansions and what islands to buy. They can't focus on the team. Drinking water like I just came off a 3-day bender. Listen, Matthew, you try and talk for 50 minutes straight without taking a drink of water. You know what I mean? Corbett, don't you think that Tolley and Early are a huge upgrade over May and Buehler? Yes. And I actually said that. I said that in my... what video was that, Chad? Or was that one of these live streams? I think it was one of these live streams. So he sat there and he said, what would the 2024 or 5 Red Sox done if instead of Walker Buehler, you had Sonny Gray, or instead of Walker Buehler, you had a full season of Conley Early or Peyton Tolley or whatever, right? Or Hunter Dobbins, who cares? You know what I mean? I think no matter what, you would have been a better positioned team to win a wild card series. We need versatility as GM. Brother, we need versatility as the owner. Do I think Tolley's off-speed stuff will be good at spring training? To be fair, the one thing I truly have faith in the Red Sox being able to do is I have faith in the Red Sox being able to develop left-handed big starting pitchers. I do. I have faith in them being able to do that. So, yeah, I would say yes to that. Do I think we are done getting pitchers this season? I wouldn't totally change the door on it. Do you think the Red Sox are still interested in Real Muto? No, I don't. It sounds like they checked in on him at the beginning of the season and said, okay, yeah, we appreciate your time, and then kind of walked away. I just realized we could have given Hicks to the Cardinals back instead of Sonny Gray's $20 million. Yeah, but the Cardinals would have had to agree with that. You know what I mean? Like, and I have a hard time seeing the Cardinals wanting that. Have I seen Okamoto swing? Yeah, dude, I love Okamoto. I do. I genuinely love Okamoto. What are the current likelihood of Bichette coming to the Red Sox? I don't know. I wouldn't say hi. I wouldn't say hi. What's up, Joe? How you doing? 5%? I hate putting percentages on things because it could change. The fact that he has now publicly made it known, by the way, I don't know if you guys have seen this. Was that on the official MLB account? I think it was the official MLB account that tweeted it out. Maybe it wasn't. Yeah, no, it wasn't. I tweeted about it. Hold on. There it is. Oh, it's MLB Network. So Bichette started to tell teams he'd be willing to move to second base. I do think the Red Sox are genuinely in on it. And I do think the Red Sox are interested. And I've talked about this. We talked about this before. If the Red Sox have this sort of mentality of not paying players in their 30s, and Bichette's, projected to get somewhere between a 5, 7-year deal, this should be the guy you invest in, right? Like, if you're afraid to invest in guys in their 30s, sign the guy who's 27, right? There should not be. Like, if you're looking for a Bregman type player, but you don't want to pay a Bregman type player, how about you pay the Bregman type player to play second base when you have Meyer over there at third base? This guy's, he's pretty durable. I know he only played 81 games this year, but it's like, he missed 20 games this year, 20 games this year, played every single game this year, right? He's like a 6-WAR player if you could play him every single year. He's going to hit around 300. Except for 2020, 2024 was a brutal year for him. My God, it was a brutal year for him. But he's going to hit around 300. He's going to hit you, around 20-ish home runs. He's going to drive in around 100 RBIs. He's going to be 28 years old. He's really clutch. Let's take a peek, shall we? Oh, I've already looked at this. I think I looked at this in one of our previews. If you remember, you know what I'm talking about with previews. Let's see. Runners in scoring position. This dude's hitting 330 with a 527 slug for a 904 OPS. Men on base. He's hitting 326 with a 374. Like. Hello? Hello? Yes, this should, if you are going to go and you're not going to sign Bregman, why are we not signing this guy? I would love it. And we've already heard that the Red Sox feel comfortable with Marcelo Meyer as your starting third baseman, right? So it's not like there's an issue of, do the Red Sox believe that Marcelo Meyer can handle third base? Think they said Bo is too young? Yeah, they said, they're sitting there, they're saying, they sat there, they said, well, listen, Bregman too old. We're really looking for 29 years old. Bichette's still 28. If you look at the long-term deals they did over the years, they got burned on a lot of them. They sure did. But if you also look at those long-term deals, how many World Series did they win through them? Right? For what it's worth, Lackey, big part of 2013. You don't win 2020 or 2018 without David Price. You probably don't win it without Garrett Crochet, but that's sort of like a Garrett. That's sort of like a Garrett Crochet type conversation, right? I mean, you're probably still winning a World Series with Daisuke, but he helped for sure. You know what I mean? Ignoring the huge need for a second baseman, we need a first baseman desperate that has some power. Meyer can go to second if we sign 2 corner infielders and we'd be solid. Sure would be. Who is ignoring the corner infield here? No, it doesn't sound like Rob Refsnyder is coming back. The latest report is it doesn't sound like a reunion's very likely. We need a backup catcher that could be. I don't listen. Yeah, backup catcher wouldn't be a bad thing. I don't think this should be on your list of top priorities. If you get them, fine. You know what I mean? But like, you've got bigger fish to fry here. Connor Wong will bounce back this year as a backup. Yeah, I think he'll be fine. I really do. Here we go again. What? We have like 50 catchers in the system now. That's also true. I don't feel like they are going to do much other than small tweaks. I hope to be wrong. I mean, look, I like if you're sitting there saying that, I like, what am I gonna say? No, they're gonna do something big. Like, Luis, David Hamilton. David Hamilton is Nick York is not in the system, brother. Yeah, like if you're saying that, I like, you know what I mean. What am I gonna say? You know what I mean? Like, I don't have a rebuttal to that right now. Ideally, I would. You want to hear my ideal offseason right now? Sign Bo Bichette before you lose. Sign Bo Bichette before you lose Alex Bregman, and then you know sign an Okamoto, sign a trade for a Wilson Contreras. You know. The top 3 contracts the Red Sox gave out was Rafael Devers, dog. Manny Ramirez, dog. Roman Anthony, gonna be a dog. Bo will cost too much? I don't think he will, dude. I really don't think he will. Yeah, take the chance. I agree. Take the chance. See, a ton to talk about third baseman for the Sox, but we need a first baseman too. No. That's not true, Reborn. We've talked about Okamoto this stream. We've talked about Murakami this stream. Those are the 2 best first basemen on the market. Corbin, in 5 days. So you're sitting here and you're saying we didn't get Bregman. What now? What? Do I think Roman can win an MVP in the next 5 years? Yeah. Bo gets hurt a lot. I mean, not more than Bregman, if we're being honest, right? If we're just looking at oops, I'm on the wrong page. If we're just looking at games played here, and again, this is a kind of player where you're kind of like as long as he's healthy for the playoffs, I'm okay with the Red Sox having to play Marcelo Meyer at second base or Romy Gonzalez or Nick Sogard or David Hamilton or whoever at second base for what 23 games. I don't think that's going to be the difference between the division or not. You know what I mean? If he could play 140 games a season, I'm all right with that. Murakami to the Yankees? What? Yeah, I don't disagree with you, CH. Perfect out season from here. Sign Bregman, Ime, and then get either Okamoto or trade for Marte. So, to me, Okamoto and Marte are 2 different beasts. I like Marte to me is here. Okamoto's kind of here. I would love Ime. I don't think the Red Sox are very in on him. Although at the same point too, like you sit here with all of these conversations and we're talking about guys the Red Sox have been connected to. Everyone who the Red Sox have been connected to, they haven't gotten. Everyone who they have gotten, the Red Sox haven't been connected to. So I feel like, you know, you sit here with Bichette and you're hearing the Red Sox aren't super out. You're hearing that the Red Sox aren't crazy into him. That makes me think they are into him. No, I don't know. I agree with versatility. I'm just sort of talking out loud. If we still had the password, do you think the Royals would Duran the pat? No. Not even close. Red Sox review. Didn't Bo Bichette's father play first? Yeah, actually, Dante definitely played for the Red Sox at some point. What year did Dante play for the Sox? Last year and a half of his career. Kind of solid with like not a terrible bat with the Red Sox. Kind of a terrible bat with the Red Sox. Kind of. Is he a Hall of Famer? He's not a Hall of Famer, is he? No. Did he play first base, though? I thought he was strictly an outfielder. Let us see. Yeah, he played strictly outfield. Look at me. Before I had consciousness. What do you think the plan is for Yoshida next year? Trade his ass. I love Yoshida. By the way, I love Yoshida. Big fan of Yoshida. But he just doesn't fit the roster. I think I think if the Red Sox get the opportunity, they're moving him as soon as humanly possible. Absolute Joker comic is insane. Dude, it's so good. It's so good. The Absolute Batman run is unbelievable. The DCKO run too, by the way. Have you read Night Fight? The 2 Night Fights, Dallas? Moss is a very good player. He's just not the player we need. Yeah, it's kind of exactly what I'm saying. You young guys don't remember? No, of course I don't remember. I was 2, dude. I couldn't even speak words. Bichette has a lot of indirect connection to Boston. Feels like a good fit. Yeah, I agree. I again. Plus, he was literally born one singular month away from when I was born. See the players that were born this year. Where am I? How did I end up here? Are there any players born on my birthday? There is one player. George Kirby and I are the exact same birthdays. That's ill. What the hell? How much of Moss's contract we need to eat in order to trade him? At least half of it. Just turned 20. Hey, happy birthday. I saw it, Mike. I forgot. I saw it. I didn't mention it. Happy birthday to you as well. I'll say it tomorrow, too. Really, Justin Wilson could come back? Yeah. Yeah. I actually do think there's a real chance Justin Wilson comes back. We decide a new owner. Dude, I saw so many after John Henry. Oh, I wanted to go on this spiel about John Henry selling the Penguins. So for those of you who did not see it, dude, my cat is so mad right now that I'm like screaming into the microphone. She keeps trying to reposition herself and getting cranky with me. Like, dude, it's my fault. What's being discussed for 2026? Where is it? Yeah. So if you haven't seen it, the Family Sports Group sold the Penguins. They bought it for $900 million, sold it for $1.7-ish billion. Crazy in 4 years to make that much money. But you sit there with that and people are immediately like, oh, they're going to sell the Red Sox. Trust me, they're not selling the Boston Red Sox. Even when John Henry dies, they will not sell the Boston Red Sox. They'll sell his shares of the Fenway Sports Group. They will not sell the Fenway Sports Group is going to hold the Boston Red Sox for a very long time. Don't get your hopes up. Does it mean the Red Sox? The other thing I saw was the other thing I saw was that this means the Red Sox have more money. No. They absolutely will not have more money. CH May with a $2 super chat. Thanks so much, CH. I appreciate it, man. Hey, it looks like we're on better terms today. Justice for Cooper Criswell. True. I actually thought of you when they DFA'd Coop. All right, Eddie. Listen, all you got to do is put it in there once, brother. I'll read it. I think the Red Sox should sign Bo Bichette for trade for Cattell and sign Ime. What do I think? I think that'd be great. I don't think it's gonna happen. Listen, I'm a big Marcelo Meyer guy, and I think the Red Sox are too. I don't think they trade Marcelo, which means they probably are gonna get either Bregman, Marte, or Bo Bichette. Hopefully you get a baklava for your videos for Christmas. Hopefully baklava in your terms is baklava in terms of the Greek pastry, because if it is, I'm going to eat so much baklava on Christmas Eve. See Costas on the opening day roster. Do I? It depends, right? If they don't sign a first baseman, yes. If they do, no, I think it'll be in AAA. Christopher, if they do nothing before spring training, this channel is just going to be me like taking a blowtorch to this. Oh. All right, so what is a balaclava? This better not be anything. Balaclava. Why? Oh, to cover up my face. I get it, Eric. Good one. Shout out Action Bronson, the boy, dude. I saw Action Bronson at the House of Blues, dude. That was a great concert. It was right after he put out I don't know. Every time I think of Actually Broadside, I think of the line, white snakes and underwear sauce. White snake and underwear sauce. We should ask Mo Vaughn to come out of retirement and play first. Brother, that'd be wild. Let's go, Ken. Also, I know it might not be popular opinion. Early needs to be added to the untouchables list. A little bit. With all the rumors involving Duran, who would be the best return? Cole Ragans. Cole Ragans. Yeah, actually, Mystic. The latest report is the Red Sox are still in on Freddie, but we'll see. Am I going to the Fenway Bowl? I am not, no. How many games do we win with our current roster, no Bregman? 86. I think your rotation got better. I think you're going to see steps up from at least some of the rookies, but I don't think there's enough, right? I think 86. Best trade would be true. Best trade would be Hunter Green. But I'm not even considering it. Yeah, Hunter Green is like if Craig Breslow trades Duran for Hunter Green, I don't think I'll ever say a bad word about him again. Will I be at Fenway Fest? I don't think I'm going to Fenway Fest this year, guys. I just, if I'm being honest with you, I didn't enjoy it as much as I did Springfield, man. I don't know what it was. I think it was it being one day. I think it was it was at Fenway, but it wasn't. I don't know. There was something about it last year. Taking all our phones too for that drove me crazy. Like I wasn't allowed to record anything. Would I trade Duran for Mookie? Yes. Totally was electric in his debut, but the league seemed to figure him out pretty quickly. Yeah, he'll make the adjustment, dude. But yeah, dude, if you somehow traded for Hunter Green, I would be the happiest little clammies in Mississippi. It's not gonna happen, but man. But Cole Ragans, I don't know. People get scared of his injury history. I would love Cole Ragans. '86 is wishful thinking. No, I don't think so. I don't think you're a significantly worse team than you are. You just haven't taken a step forward, Rip. Are the Twins still looking to trade Joe Ryan? They are not. That's cool, Christopher. Bichette is made to order to come to the Red Sox. Yeah, it kind of does. I think Toley's gonna be having it rough to start off. I don't know. It depends on whether or not he makes the adjustment. It was 24 for Reagan's. Oh, my face is covering it right here. That's the season, man. That's it right there. 32 starts, 3.14 ERA, the Pi ERA, 2.99 FIP. Dude led the American League in strikeouts per 9, only walked 3.2, 7.1 hits per 9. Like, this guy was an animal. If you can get that in a Red Sox uniform, I'm telling you, dude, you put them toe-to-toe with any rotation in baseball, I'll make an argument. You really could. What's your take on the outfielder for Cabrera? Would the Sox need more? I have made a video. So I've covered, this will be my third full season covering the Red Sox on this channel. Okay. In the 2023 season, I made a video about Edward Cabrera. The 2024 season, I made a video about Edward Cabrera. The 2025 season, I made a video about Edward Cabrera. I cannot make another video about Edward Cabrera. I just can't do it. Right? I would, unless something sparks up here, I would love Edward Cabrera, dude. This is what I'm talking about, right? And he's only 27 years old. right? He's only 27 years old, and he looks fantastic. Big strikeout guy. He got his walks down this year, which I thought was huge. And when he did, ERA just took a nosedive, right? In the best way possible. Would I have Carabas on the show? Yeah, of course I would. 1 out of 5 years with Reagan, though, plus he's often injured. That's why I don't like him. True, but at the same time with Reagan's, like, everyone says the same thing about Crochet. Now, at this point, would I give up like a Duran to get Edward Cabrera? No, right? Brian Wu? Yeah, you were actually. You were for sure. The Red Sox haven't gotten Wu would have been incredible. Now he's just untouched. Now he's so good. Like, this is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Do you see a world where the Red Sox are successful with all 4 outfielders using that DH spot? Yes. Yeah, 100%. You know a kid who said Wu should have gotten Cy Young? My God. Red Sox kind of overpay, though. True, dude. We just got to sell. All you got to do is sell Jordan Hicks. It works out perfectly. All you got to do is sell that guy. The Sox haven't done it because you haven't asked enough yet? What? What do you mean? Oh, because I need to make one more Edward Cabrera video. I've been banging this Edward Cabrera drum for quite literally 3 years. Yeah, he came in 5th in Cy Young voting. But to win it, that's crazy. Oops. I would love Edward Cabrera here. Do you think it's worth keeping early and Tolley and trading Bayo? I said this in my Bayo video. The only way I would trade Brian Bayo is if you're getting another pitcher in return. If you're gonna trade Bayo for a bat, I would rather trade early or Tolley. And that sounds kind of. I don't think that sounds kind of wild. Bayo's an established major league starter. Even if you think he's a number 3 starter, ideally you'd want early to become a number 3 starter, right? But if it's Bayo it's Bayo in the conversation of Cole Reagans or whoever or whatever, then it's a little bit of a different story, right? Marlon said the best starting staff in baseball. I don't know about that one. Duran back to second base. There's guy no, it's not gonna happen. What time does this stream normally end? Usually around 8:30. Bayo gets hated on for that one playoff game. Yeah, he does. But also to be fair, the last month of the season he fell off a cliff too. Like if he had been what he'd been the entire year in the last month of the season, the Red Sox probably don't limp into the playoffs. Bayo is at best a 4. Got lucky this year. I hate the get lucky thing. No, he performed, right? He did what he needed to do. Some pitchers are successful by getting ground balls. Do you think we should sign both Bo Bichette and Bregman? No. I think you sign one or the other. How do you think the Red Sox rank in terms of the rest of the AL East? I would say right now a firm 3rd place, depending on what the Orioles do the rest of the year. Call me crazy, but I could see Breslow and Heimlund doing something no one expects, especially if we lose Bregman, getting Arenado and Donovan, something strange like that happening. I would be ripped if the Red Sox got Nolan Arenado. If that's your, hey, man, we're improving our third base, no, you're not. Yeah, Rip, I'm not arguing that the underlying metrics don't look good. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying some pitchers are just successful at getting weak contact, right? Some pitchers, they don't strike out a bunch. They don't get a ton of whiff. They just get weak contact, and that brings you to a successful season. I feel like Marcelo at third and Bichette is more realistic because they don't. Yeah, I would be psyched with that. Really wish we held on to Grissom. Nah. If the O's land one ace, we will end up as fourth in our division. Yeah, if the Red Sox stay where they're at and the Orioles land an ace, yes, yeah, they will. But it depends on what the Red Sox do to counter it. What do we think of trading Duran and early for Reagan's? Not sure what Reagan's price is. I would be okay with that because if early became Reagan's, like that's top, right? Reagan's is already Reagan's. I'd be fine with that. If Bloom was like, you take Nolan and we take Massa, would you do it? Do you think Nolan would be willing to play first base? Then maybe. Polls at 98 votes. I kind of forgot to stop it, so we're just gonna leave it up there. Would I rather sign Bregman or Bo? I lean towards Bregman just because I think that the off field intangibles are just as important in my opinion. But if we're talking like it's tough, right? The other thing too is you got to remember Bichette has a qualifying offer attached. The Red Sox lose a draft pick by signing Bo Bichette. Plus, I think Bregman's got better defense no matter where you put Bregman. Well, no matter where you put Bichette. So how do I feel about the Devers trade now? Brother, I'm still angry. I was angry about the Devers trade when it happened. I was angry about the Devers trade 6 months after it happened. I'm still angry about the Devers trade. And the worst part is we're going to sit here with the Devers trade and it's just going to keep coming up unless the Red Sox win, one, and two, do something to put themselves in a position to win. Trade for Gore and CJ Abrams to the Nationals, that'd be one hell of a trade. Yeah, that's the thing, Snowy. It wasn't just Bregman being a better player for the Red Sox. It was that Bregman made people around him better. Like, that's a lot to lose. Versatility laid it out for us. That's a lot to lose for signing Bichette. Bichette will cost 200 plus million. No, Sox don't do that. Not according to the latest projections. The latest projections are actually Bichette getting about the same money as Bregman. I'm sick of Yankee fans crying poverty. Yeah, same. It's so stupid. I'd flip Massa. Yeah, I think the Red Sox would flip Massa too. How do I think Casas comes back from injury? It seems like they're optimistic. I mean, yeah, to be fair, what's Nesson going to do? Say this guy sucks, get rid of him? That's usually not how Nesson works, you know? But yeah, it depends. I think the Red Sox are going to be patient with him. So here, yeah, that was my question, versatility. Does King have a qualifying offer? Accepted, declined. Edwin Diaz, Schwarber, Tucker, Suarez, Valdez, Bichette, Gallen, Michael King. Yeah, I'm out on Michael King. I'm out on Michael King officially. You just want to say thank you. Yeah, of course, man. I love reading the chat. I really do. Yeah, if you get if you get Bo Bichette for 6 years, I'm okay giving up the problem. The issue is I don't know the Red Sox sign him for 6 years. Why not trade Story? You could tell Marte, Bregman, move Meyer to short. Because that's way easier said than done. You take Bregman over Bichette if I had to choose just because he makes the young guys so much better. Exactly. Like it's similar-ish production at the plate. Better defense, no qualifying offer, and he makes the players around you better. Yeah, absolutely. I would agree with that. But it's pretty close, right? Bichette is younger. There's probably going to be less regression as quickly with Bichette than there is Bregman. I don't know. He'd be a fun pitcher, but unless we get a hometown deal, King is not a good move. Kind of agree. Um, Trade Duran for James Woods. There's no way that happens. Yoshi's contract's not a lot anymore. Frankly, it's standard. Yeah, I agree. Not the Red Sox traded Marquise Grissom. Vaughn Grissom. He's going to win an MVP. We need Ortiz to come back like Phillip Rivers. Dude, you think Ortiz would literally like laugh his way out of the office. That's what he would do. He would quite literally laugh his way out of the office. Yeah, Ortiz definitely could still play. He would be like, what the hell am I doing here? Lonely satellite. Thank you so much for subscribing, my friends. I don't think Story has any trade value. No, there's definitely some value there with Story, but you have to find a perfect team for that. That's the problem, right? That's not a guy who, any team in baseball would trade for. It'd be a very specific team that's looking for him. Go get Mason Miller. Chapman getting old. What would your package for Mason Miller be? Ortiz, play Colorado. Big market, sure. Yeah. Are we using the term big market loosely there? Versatility? If we sign a solid first baseman, you think they should DFA Casas? No. They absolutely should not DFA Casas. They should throw him in the minor leagues and let him continue to get healthy. That's my answer. I'm not sure Mason Miller's even on the table right now. They're definitely at least open to talking about Mason Miller. But Jordan, what's the package look like? Goes off of profit, not spending. John. Padres looking for prospects, and we aren't short on those. Just an idea. Oh yeah, no, I'm not flaming you or anything. I'm just because to me, I don't think the Red Sox can put together a package without totally decimating their farm system for Mason Miller. So I'm curious to see what you would give up for him. Ron Acuna is my favorite position player. He will never. Yeah, no, they're not. No one's trading Acuna. Doubt anyone's taking Story's remaining 2 years, 25. I think there would be there'd be teams that'd be willing to do it, but it would be very, very, very limited teams. Tolley, Bayo, Romero, and Campbell for Miller. See, this is what I'm talking about, right? So you trade all of those guys. You trade 2 starting pitchers and Campbell for Mason Miller. I'm good, dude. Is Peralta trade realistic at all? Is it realistic? We could use that term loosely and say, yeah, I mean, it's realistic that it happens. Does it happen? Now, the asking price for Peralta is going to be crazy high, dude. It's going to be crazy high. But to be fair, too snowy here. That's probably in the realm of what you're talking about for Mason Miller. To be fair. Like, dude. Whoa. If you get Freddie Peralta, dude, I'm such a happy camper. Oh my God. I could dream, right? The 2026 trade deadline acquisition prediction: a half-eaten Snickers bar for 3 top 10 prospects. I don't think I like the dude. This trade deadline put such a sour note on so many Red Sox fans. I mean, kind of rightfully, but it really has been. It's been like, dude, it's just been so bad. So basically, yeah, that's what I mean. Like the trade deadline was just so bad. Dude, Freddie Peralta is so good, dude. I've been seeing that Bo and Alex 4 years. If the contracts are exactly the same, even if you have to go 1 year more for Bichette, I think I'd take Bichette. Which pitcher do you think we should sign or trade for? It's Cole. The answer is Cole Reagans. The answer is Cole Reagans. What's the deal with Sandoval? He coming out of the bullpen? That's my guess right now. Do I think FSG selling the Penguins has a positive and negative effect on the Red Sox? I think it has no effect on the Red Sox. What do we need to give up for Peralta? A lot. It's not going to be easy to get him. Not going to be easy to get him. But if you can get him, dude, I mean that's what a truly competitive team does. There's no way the Sox sign anyone that has a qualifying offer attached. Yeah, it's kind of unlikely. I would say that for sure. I don't know that it's totally. If it's a long-term deal, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibilities. They're not signing a short-term deal for a guy with a qualifying offer. That's for sure. Okamoto, 3 years, $75 million. Then Ketel Marte for Arias, Tolley, and Crawford. How realistic is this? Your package for Ketel Marte, I think, is not crazy far off, but still, I don't think they want Arias. I don't think they want Arias. But I also did like this. That isn't totally unrealistic. I don't think VK. Do I think Reagans or Peralta is going to be cheaper? I would imagine. I'd imagine Reagans is. Surely the immediate offseason selling the Penguins has to free up $10 to $20 million. No, I really don't. I do not think that there's any sort of correlation. Brewers are going to try and run it back. Yeah. I prefer the trade pitching prospects instead of batter prospects from Marte. Too much to give up? No, dude, that isn't. Like, I could genuinely see a situation where the Red Sox end up, like, having to trade, like, Duran and Meyer for Ketel Marte. Like, it's like, yeah, you could get to that point easy, dude. Well, we don't do anything else this winter. At least, Corbin, we can look for more videos and trade talk August 1st, the trade deadline. True. They will be out there. Which first baseman should we target? Okamoto. Okamoto for sure. The Dodgers are gonna smash the Brewers again. I don't know, dude. Like with the Brewers. Let me see their rotation. Am I planning on attending am I ever planning on? Yeah, I would love to go to a winter meetings. It just wasn't feasible this year. Maybe next year. I don't know. We'll see. I am getting married in September this year, and then we might do our honeymoon in December, so maybe not next year, but I would love to. The problem is I wouldn't ever be able to get like a media pass for winter meetings, it doesn't look like, so I don't know if it's worth it. Oh, thank you guys. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know, dude. If you could get like if Mizorowski takes a legitimate step forward, yeah, I think you can. I was just reading the Dodgers have deferred $9.1 billion. That doesn't sound right. What could we look forward to with Kyson Witherspoon? It kind of depends on how he looks development-wise this season, but like you're talking big fastball, wipeout slider, could be a guy that moves very, very quickly. Like, it could be a Peyton Tolley type rise. Could we see the Sox doing a platoon of Goldie and Casas? Dude. Ew. What's an underrated prospect? This is the place to go if you're looking for prospects, by the way. Jake Bennett, now the number 6 prospect in the Red Sox system, by the way. Henry Godbout. This is a guy I'd be paying attention to. He had a monster season last year. Absolutely be a guy I'd be paying attention to. This is the guy Andrew Parker said to pay attention to. So this is who I would do it. Versatility comes September. We know what to do regarding the wedding. Please don't do anything. Luis Arise would help with your strikeout problem for sure. Yeah, but he's not a great defender. I usually, to be fair, usually the people coming over from Japan, they take their time in the trading windows or the signing windows. So Red Sox sign DJ LeMahieu. That would be funny if it was true. It's not actually true though, is it? Like we're at the point now where I could see that happening. In non-baseball news, the new season of Bridgerton comes out next month. My fiance is going to be psyched. Per my inside sources. Oh, here we go. Yeah, Murakami is assigned by the 22nd. That's true. Not the biggest fan of Arise, but wouldn't be the worst option. Arise is kind of the opposite of like a Eugenio Suarez, where like Eugenio Suarez only hits home runs. Arise only makes contact. That's it, right? He's not a good defender. Like, none of these stats are encouraging to me, right? Like, he's not a good defender. Literally, he doesn't walk a lot. Literally, all he does is make contact. So I'm good. Okay, Christopher. Right? Like, this to me, it just doesn't do enough for me. Like, he's fine, right? But he wouldn't be an upgrade at first base defensively. I don't think he really does a ton for the lineup besides be a solid, like, 9-hitter for you. Right? That's kind of it. I don't like the idea of Luis Arise. I've officially made my decision. I don't like the idea of Luis Arise. Okamoto has so Okamoto has until January 4th. I think Imai is the 6th. I could be wrong. Let me see. There was someone put it out there. Japanese let me see. There was someone put out the dates. Maybe. Okay. Imai has until I don't see a date here. Don't see a date on any of these. Why don't the Sox push to get Bellinger at first? I could show you exactly why the Sox aren't crazy interested in Bellinger. I thought Imai was a little bit after. This is why, right? He wasn't making a ton of hard contact last year. The reason he had such a good season is because look at this short porch. I wonder actually if I can go to Illustrator. I think his numbers would come down mighty quickly if he was at Fenway Park. It always takes me a second to find these things. Hold on. Spray chart. I just saw it. It keeps losing. Stop moving. Oh my God. Where'd it go? Spray chart. Hello? Okay. It could change. Spray chart. My God. Spray chart. Like, look. Like, yeah. Let's overlay this on Fenway. Like, dude, yeah, like some of these maybe get out, right? But there's just so many in here that probably wouldn't be hits. I don't like the idea of Cody Bellinger at Fenway, I think. Not hating, but Craig better of a backup third baseman ready. If he plans to start Maya there every day, we've seen him hurt over and over. Yeah, I agree with that. I'd imagine Romy, Eaton, those would probably be your answers there. You think we should sign Ime? If you have the opportunity to, I absolutely would. Thoughts on trading for Mackenzie Gore? I like Mackenzie Gore. I think his peripherals look pretty good. I do think he's one of those guys that in the right system could be a legitimate number 2. This year wasn't a good year for him. I'll admit that. But like 2024, you could see where the solids coming from, fastball velo. He kept exit velocity down, got a lot of strikeouts. The extension, right, lefty with the extension. Craig Breslow's, a big fan of that. You can get the walks to up here, like to here. I think you're in a better spot. Limit the hard contact rate, even if you get that to there. That's a solid number 3 starter. I really like Mackenzie Gore. I don't think he's going to be worth what fans or what the Nationals are going to be asking for. I'll say that. Okamoto over Murakami because Okamoto's a pull hitter in Fenway. Better defense, better contact skills. Not the power of Murakami, but better, well-rounded player. I don't disagree. Plus a shorter deal too. I think you got to put in there. Why do I prefer Okamoto over Murakami? See above. To me, honestly, Henry, I think Okamoto is more ready for Major League Baseball, and I think the Red Sox should be going for someone who can immediately impact their team. If the Red Sox were still like 2 years off of being a World Series competitor, I would say go for Murakami and let him develop. But I think the Red Sox are right there. You add in the right pieces, you're a World Series competitor. So. For a power bat, why not Rooker on the A's? Because the A's aren't going to trade Rooker. Yeah, but I haven't heard anything about the Sox being linked to Okamoto at all. Did you hear anything about them being linked to Sonny Gray or Johan Oviedo? In fact, Flip, how many times have we heard them be connected to somebody, them not sign or trade for that guy and go for somebody else, right? To me, I think at this point in the offseason, not hearing that the Red Sox are connected to somebody makes my ears perk up even more, Unless there's something out there where it's like legitimately, no, the Red Sox will not do this. I just don't see the idea of the Red Sox doing it totally off the table. Okamoto had a more consistent production record in Japan. Yeah, that's true. Whereas Murakami had one great season. Yes and no. Murakami's had more than one great season. He's had a couple of great seasons, but where does Oviedo play into this? I think the Red Sox are going to start him. I think he's going to be a back end starter for the Sox to start the season. I don't know what their rotation looks like. I think it kind of depends on how the rest of the offseason plays out, but I think they like Oviedo. Whether it's a good move or not, I don't know. True. That's the other question, right? We won't see it coming. The question is whether or not we'll like it when it does happen. I think that's a good place to cut it, ladies and gentlemen. This has been a great stream, I think. This has been a really fun stream. I think we're all kind of in the same place, right? I just sort of wrapping it up here. I think we're kind of in this window of just exhaustion. I think that's the best way to put it, man. I think I think we're tired of the rumors. I think we're tired of the narratives. I think we just want to see what the Red Sox are doing. And it hurts even more when you're the only team in the entire sport outside of the Rockies to not have done anything on the free agent market. Just show us what you're trying to do. I think that's the answer. Show us what you're trying to do. Again, members only, tomorrow, 7 PM. We are probably going to stream next week, by the way. Keep an eye out for that. Probably on Tuesday. Probably on Tuesday, maybe. It kind of depends on where I'm at with like Christmas shopping and stuff, to be honest with you. But we'll see. We will be live streaming if anything happens, though, by the way. Tomorrow we'll be back with, I think, probably a Michael King video. I think that's going to be our best bet for tomorrow. Should be an interesting conversation. We'll see how that goes. Anyways, Versatility, a major, major, major thank you to you. That was an unbelievably generous donation, member, everything, man. I can't thank you enough. To everyone who donated, thank you. To everyone who became a member or re-upped their membership, thank you. Just a ton of thank yous to go around. If I don't see you before then, if I don't see you before the holiday season, happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa, Merry Christmas, and I will see you guys. Oh, wait. Where's my thing?